All right, class, today we are going to work on writing linear equations from a context and solving. So basically it's real world applications. What does that mean to us? A whole lot of words, but we're going to continue to get better at pulling what we need out of a word problem in order to use it and to solve it. I forgot my pen, so I'm using a pencil today, but you should be able to see it, so we're good. So Jaden has a prepared phone plan, we're gonna call it Plan A, that charges 15 cents for each text. So that looks like it's important to me. And then 10 cents per minute. So that looks like it's important to me. All right. If Jaden uses only text, so we're only talking about this part of the problem now. For the cost C, write an equation for the cost C of sending text. Well, it's going to be C equals 15. It tells us to use T for text. So it's that. How much is it going to cost if he's spending 15 cents per text? That's all that says right there. Next, how much will it cost Jaden to send 15 texts? Well, now I've got, I'll do this one over here. C equals 15. Oh, sorry, that should be 0.15, right? It's 15 cents. That's going to be 0.15, and then he's sending 15 texts. So if he sends 15 texts, it's going to be 0.15, parentheses, 15, close your parentheses. So that's $2.25. So C equals $2.25. Go ahead and give me a dollar sign, that'll be our units, okay? If Jaden has $6, how many texts can he send? So now we know how much he's spending, what the cost is going to be. So we're going to take that 6 and plug it into that capital C. So now basically we're trying to figure out how many texts. We're trying to solve for that T. So we need to divide both sides by 15 cents. Create a fraction. 6 goes on top, 0.15 on the bottom, and that gives me 40. So 40 equals T, or 40 texts. So he can send 40 texts. All right, so now if Jaden only uses the talking feature, so now we're talking about for calls, 10 cents per minute. Write an equation for the cost of talking M a minute. So we're going to use M for calls. It's going to be C equals, we know it's 10 cents. Remember, it's 0.10 M. Part B, how much will it cost Jaden to talk for 15 minutes? So I'm going to take my 15, I'm going to plug it into my M. C equals 0.10, 15. Punch that into your calculator. Notice I'm typing it in exactly how I have it written. That's going to be $1.50. So if he talks for 15 minutes, it's going to cost him $1.50. So again, Jaden has $6 now. How many minutes can he talk? So my C becomes my 6, right? My C becomes my 6. How many minutes can he talk? There's my equation. I'm going to go back. I'm using this equation right here. Now I'm going to divide by 0.10. Create a fraction. So he can talk for 60 minutes. All right. Part 3, if Jaden uses both talk and text, we're going to write an equation for the cost C of sending T text and talking M minutes. Well, we've already done this work. It's going to be C. We're going to use this equation, 0.15 T, plus we're going to use this part of this equation, 0.10 per minute. How much will it cost Jaden to send 7 texts? So we're going to take that 7, plug it in for our T for text. Plus, we've got 0.1. Let's see if it gives us some information over here. Yeah, he's gonna talk for 12 minutes. So we're gonna take that 12 and plug it into that M. And now we're going to just punch the right-hand side into our calculator. So it's gonna be 0.15 parentheses 7 plus 0.1 parentheses 1, 2, $2.25. Remember that dollar sign is going to be your unit, so make sure you put it, okay? So now if Jaden wants to send 21 texts and only has $6, how many minutes can he talk? So now we know how many texts he's going to send. We're going to take that 21, we're going to plug it into that T, but he only has $6. We're going to take that 6 and plug it into our cost. .10M, so that's the rest of the equation. So again, I use this equation. I plug $6 into C. I took 21 texts and plug it into T. All right, so now let's, we can multiply these two things together. So it's gonna be 6 equals 0.15 parentheses 21. That gives me 315. Plus 0.10 minutes. Well, now it just becomes a two-step equation. My first step is move the constant. Well, in this case, my constant is 315. So I'm going to subtract 315 from both sides. That's going to give me 0.10 minutes. 6 minus 3.15 gives me 2.85. I'm going to divide by 0.10. So 2.85 divided, or fraction that on top, 0.1 on the bottom, gives me 28.5. But let's talk about what we were solving for. How much money will he have left? He'll have $28. Oh wait, will this use all of his money? He can talk 21 and a half minutes. And yes, that'll use all of his money because we started with $6, right? Okay, so now Jaden discovers another prepaid phone plan. We're going to call it Plan B, that charges a flat fee for $15 per month. So that flat fee for $15 per month and 0.05 per text sent or minute used. All right, we're going to write an equation for the cost of Plan B. All right, so we've got this flat fee. Remember, we've talked about that as your base rate. So we know it's going to be plus 15. All right. So off to the side, we're going to have plus 15. We're still going to call it C equals. We're going to do 5 cents per text or minute. So it doesn't matter. I don't have to distinguish between the two. So we're going to just call, I'm going to use X, all right, since it doesn't really matter if we're talking about calls or texts, or minutes and text. In an average month, Jaden sends 200 texts and talks for 200 minutes. All right, which plan will cost Jaden the least amount of money? Justify your answer. Okay, so let's, we're going to plug it into this equation first and see how much it costs. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing my equation. Oh yeah, here it is right here. So we're plugging it into this equation right here. So that's going to give us C equals 0.15. So in this plan, it mattered how many texts it was, and it was 200, plus how many minutes it was, and remember, minutes were 10 cents per minute. All you have to do is plug that right-hand side into your calculator and figure out how much it is. Let me make sure y'all can still see that. Yeah, we're good. All right, so it's going to be 0.15 times 200 plus 0.1 times 100. So this plan per month is gonna cost him $40, okay? So next, now we're gonna plug it into this one right here. So on this one, remember it didn't matter if it was minutes or text, they're gonna both be 5 cents per. So I've got 200 texts, 100 minutes, so that's a total of 300 plus 1.5, and let's see how much this plan is gonna cost him. I've got 0.05, 300 plus 15, so that's $30. So in this case, Plan B was the way to go. I tell you what, we're gonna stop right there. So we're just gonna do this one page of notes, then we're gonna do a practice one like this in class. So that is it. That's all we need for notes for this one. Thank you.